In recent weeks, the internet has become infatuated with a 33-year-old Finnish-Norwegian man by the name of Lasse Lund. He gained millions of views after clips of him talking English with an Indian accent, despite being one of the whitest men alive, went viral.
I was lost between borders. Norwegian citizen, born in Norway, stuck in India, living on the streets. Didn't know any better. I was a kid, nah. I was left behind here, my fucking mother in jail and father in Norway.
Originally, people thought he was taking the piss. However, behind the memes and peculiar clips is a story of a man who's gone through enormous hardships, being left abandoned by his family in the slums of India throughout his whole childhood. So today, we're going to explore Lasse Lund's insane story and how coming to the internet for answers about his injustices as a child made him into a meme and enabled him to show exactly how he survived. But first, if you didn't know, we make weekly documentary videos here on this channel, and it would be awesome if you could drop a like and a sub to the channel so we can keep on pumping out these videos. And if you can't get enough, make sure to follow me over on Spotify so you can watch and listen to my videos on the go. Anyway, let's get back into the video. On the 18th of April 2026, Lasse posted his first video to his YouTube channel that briefly addressed who he was and explained that he was seeking help through social media about an injustice he experienced growing up.
The story is, my parents took me to India when I was 4 years old, and I stayed there till I was nearly 18 before the Finnish embassy helped me out of the country because we overstayed there while my parents took me there. And we stayed there nearly 13 years while my dad and my brothers left the country one by one because it's not easy to get out of the country when you're overstayed. So in the end it was me, my sister and my mother left in India. I roamed a lot away from my sister and my mother, hanging around with people on the street and people I felt close to. But then suddenly my mother and sister got jailed because they asked for her passport and she didn't have any visa. So she ended up in jail, and suddenly I'm a teenager in India living in the second biggest slum in the world, Dharavi.
On the 26th of May 2026, Lasse uploaded 2 videos, which showcased him going back to Mumbai in person for the first time in 13 years, to show exactly where he lived for years as a kid. Now, Lasse actually made the trip with his Polish friend Tazu, and the trip wouldn't actually be possible if it wasn't for his friends and supporters.
And even he came all the way from Poland just to find out what I've gone through and stuff, because he thought that was not normal, and he even helped me out with a little bit of money for my funding for this trip. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have all this cash to come here to try to get my story out there. So I'm thankful for all the people that has been supporting me all the way, buying me a ticket, buying me a camera, doing the things that I need for that I could come here and do this documentary. I'm very grateful. Thank you, guys.
In the beginning of the documentary, Lasse first introduces us to where he originally lived with his mother and his sister after his father went back to Norway.
Inside that corner room right there, and that's where my mom lived when I was young. And from here I used to go around, I used to roam the streets while they used to be here, and I realized that she couldn't take care of both of us. So I was like, okay, I'll roam the streets instead, and then I became more of a street person and hanged around with the wrong groups, and yeah, I became a person I didn't want to be, but that's life.
He then went on to explain that after his mother went to jail for not having a visa, he didn't take over the room and he was left to live on the streets, earning money through doing tourist guides, sleeping on the roads, temples, and doing literally whatever he could to survive.
I was literally homeless, living the streets as a fucking Norwegian citizen, living in fucking Mumbai like a fucking beggar. That's what I was doing.
The following day, Lasse took a taxi to link up with some people he used to know. On the way was where one of the most viral clips that got taken out the documentary was from, mainly because it showed just how integrated Lasse had become to the culture and how easy it was for him to code switch between English and Hindi. And not only that, it also showed his enormous gratitude to the people that actually helped him.
If you guys was not there, people from the slums were not there fucking helping me out, where I would be? I would fucking be somewhere, maybe my kidneys would have been removed or something, never know. I'm not even joking about that, because the fucking lifestyle that I lived around, these people are fucking dangerous. They are not any people to just to play around with. You say the wrong word, you'll fucking get beaten up. That's the kind of people. They all the time have a fucking gun on them. It's not nice life that I lived. Yeah, I've done wrong things in life, but that was a survival. It was my life. I couldn't do anything else. I didn't have people to help me.
When he arrived at the location of his friend, they explained how smoking helped them with life and how Lasse got taken care of as if he was one of their children, with them even having photos of his old passport as proof.
I could smoke anyone under the table, no matter how long you smoked.
हर काम में साथ दिया अपना कहने वाले भाई टिकट सेलिंग में आया सब काम में आया चिलम साहब का हर काम किया बाकी क्या चीटिंग नहीं किया अच्छा फ्री हंसी मजाक फ्री रहा सोचा नहीं का यूरोपीय ने अपने अपने अपना बच्चा से रखे बहुत छोटा था वो इंडिया में बहुत टाइम निकाला
That's my photo from the time when the Finnish embassy helped me out of the country. That's my passport photo. To tell you the truth, did I try to get some help? I wasn't fucking mature enough in my head. I was left on the streets while I was a kid.
In part 2 of the documentary sees Lasse on his 3rd and 4th days of travels, where he went to a Muslim dargah to pay his respects like he used to when he was young. The following day, he then went to a fish market where he showcased his best goat impression and a restaurant that he used to eat at as a kid.
When I was a kid, we used to roam these streets, and every time I felt a little bit homesick because I lived first in Goa, that's when I used to come here and eat, because it takes me back memory lane from when I was a kid living in Goa. So every time we felt like eating something that felt like home, we came here.
Underneath his documentary was a link to a GoFundMe where he's raising money for people in need in India who he believes actually really needs it. Lasse even said in his documentary that once he makes it big, he's going to help everyone that helped him.
Because there were people that helped me, and the day I become big, I'm gonna help everyone back. So this is not a one-way stream. It's like when you have been helped all your life when no one was here, not my parents, no one, my fucking parents' friends that were rich, no one was there to fucking help out. It's the people that were poor, had the biggest heart, and was there to help.
After the first 2 installments of the documentary were posted, it got shared on Reddit, which went massively viral, as it's obviously such an interesting story. This of course then led to clips of the documentary itself going completely viral across Twitter, Instagram and TikTok, mainly because of the anomaly of a white man speaking English with an Indian accent so accurate that to some people they thought he was taking the piss without actually understanding his story. But to be honest, it's so accurate even down to the head wobble that it can't really be faked, can it? He has that frustrated Indian uncle vibe that can't be faked. The accent, the head tilt, the mannerisms, that man is Indian at heart. Get this man a Netflix documentary. This story is wild. After the last documentary went viral, this of course led to journalistic intrigue, with many publications exploring the life and injustices of Lasse. However, some people were still skeptical, with Vice tweeting, "If Lasse Lund is really Norwegian, then why hasn't he written a 6-part cycle of autobiographical novels scrutinizing every aspect of his life in excruciating detail?" According to Vice, the next day they apparently received a now deleted tweet from Lasse himself, which called them retarded and posted a photo of himself as a kid giving them the finger. In fact, Vice weren't the only ones who were slightly skeptical. To address the skepticism though, Lasse uploaded the 10k subscriber Q&A video where he went into a little bit more detail about who his parents were and added some more lore to the tapestry of his story.
Too big, I don't believe him.
Because I don't live in Mumbai no more. I left Mumbai when I was 17-year-old, and I have been staying there till I was 33, till now that I want to make my story, life story. So I haven't been staying here, I've been staying in Norway. I left when I was nearly 18 years old. This is all I know. When I start talking with someone, it automatically becomes a different accent. I got mobbed in Norway for my accent for a few years before I started talking Norwegian and then my accent changed. But fast as I go somewhere where someone's talking Hindi, it automatically changes because I can Finnish, Norwegian, English, Marathi, Urdu. It's like Hindi. I know so many languages that it automatically changes. It's not something I'm doing purposely just to irritate people.
His ID card says he is from Suomi, Finland. Also the passport is from Finland. How does that compute?
If you just looked up my first video I put out explaining my whole story. My mother is Finnish, my father is Norwegian. I have a dual citizen. It's like, hello, the Finnish embassy helped me out because my mother is Finnish. But what they did wrong was not reporting me when I was underage, when I left the country. They didn't report to Norway. They sent me back to Norway because my father was in Norway. My mother was still in jail, in Yeroda jail. My parents were hippies. My father was a drug dealer. My mother was a stoner, hippie. None of them wanted to do anything. They wanted to live a party life, free life in Goa. But up my life in the process, no?
If you are from Norway, why do you blame the Finnish embassy?
Because when my mother got jailed, my father was in Norway, he contacted the Finnish embassy, and the Finnish embassy, when they were helping me out, I told them I don't have any paperwork. They also saw I didn't have any paperwork. My mother is in jail, father is in Norway, and they helped me out of the country. I'm underage, no
parents living on the street, they should have at least sent a message to the child services and stuff. So maybe I would have got schooling right away. I would have gone out of that family. I went back to my father, found out that he's still selling in Norway, doing all the things that he was doing back in the day in Goa and all over. So yeah, I blame the Finnish embassy because they did not report it in. And I also blame the Norwegian government for never giving the about checking. Why don't I have school? Why don't I have things? And just saying, no, you have to find a job. You have to go and get a life. Like how? I don't have anything.
During this same Q&A video, Lars addressed a troll comment that alluded to him being overweight because of Indian food, where he went on to explain that eating has helped him deal with trauma.
He must have ate everybody's food. He's so fat.
I saw that comment, and the only thing I've had to keep myself a little bit feeling better is food. It's like it's been my way out. Some people go to drugs, some people go to many things. I love food, I go to food. It's like I've had it hard in my life. I've been I've gone through a lot. It's like a painkiller for me.
Around this same time, a Finnish publication shared Lars's story, which also included an interview with Lars's mother. However, her identity was kept anonymous. I'm angry at the guy for making up stuff like that. It's horrible that he claims he was dumped on the street. That's never happened. He didn't really go to school any worse, but he had the opportunity to sit down and learn. He did learn to write and do math problems. The images attached to the piece show Lars out of a bong at around 10 years old, which kind of underlines how wrapped up his parents were in the party lifestyle in Goa. In the article, the mother also goes on to give a bit more clarity on the family's journey through India. From the beaches of Goa, the family headed to the state of Maharashtra, where the father and brothers lived separately to the mother, Lars, and their youngest child. At some point amongst all of this, the father and the older brothers returned to Norway one by one. Now 10 years old, Lars was staying in Mumbai with his mother and youngest sibling, as the child had been born in Goa, but didn't receive a birth certificate from the hospital. Lars estimates that he was around 12 or 13 years old when his mother was arrested. However, she claims that he was actually 15 when she was taken to jail in Pune. But regardless, she didn't tell the police about her son. You couldn't tell when they would have picked him up at the police station. Then he would end up in a state institution, which are really scary places. Now, the news channel that wrote this article got in contact with the mother's former lawyer, who said that she was arrested on the 30th of May 2008 and sentenced to 2 years, with the mother and the youngest sibling returning to Norway in early 2010. However, she continued in the article, stating that when she went to prison, Lars went to live with their family friends, Lionel Diaz and his wife, in Pune. YLE then got in contact with Diaz, who confirmed that Lars lived with them for a few months when he was 16. He claimed that Lars's father sent money to Pune and tried to arrange for him to go back to Norway. However, the couple worked long hours in the corporate world, and Lars seemed to prefer the road life, with him deciding to return to Mumbai. The article continues with comments from Jussi Tanner, the Finnish head of consular affairs at the Ministry for Foreign Affairs, who claims that Lars's case did actually come to the attention of the Foreign Affairs Office in 2008, when Lars was in contact with the Finnish embassy in Delhi. After documents were obtained, it was then revealed that Lund's father had told the Finnish embassy by phone that Lars was staying with a friend in India, which then resulted in the embassy issuing Lars a new Finnish passport at the end of 2008 and getting him an exit visa, which allowed him to join his father in Norway in February 2009. In the exclusive interview, he revealed why he's only just opening about his experiences publicly now.
That's why it took so many years for me to come out with my story. I was not up in the head. I needed to take time to heal. It took many years to be strong enough that I can face whatever comes my way once I get my story out there.
So essentially, Lars accuses the Finnish embassy in Delhi of making mistakes during the return because he wasn't reported to child welfare. The consular chief stated, "From today's perspective, with this information, we should have been actively in contact with, for example, the Finnish child welfare authorities, child welfare in his former home of municipality. It's obvious we failed to help this one child." Despite being let down by his parents and government, in part 3 and 4 of his documentary, he makes it very clear that he is grateful to the people that did actually help him.
There's one thing I get is respect from everyone because I never did anything wrong. I was here stuck. I was living with wrong people, but they never did wrong things for front of me. That's one thing. They always respected that I was young, foreigner. They were always there to help. That's it. Buddy, the day will come when I will make everything fine again. I will help everyone. Don't worry.
देख तेरे को मिलने के लिए मैं काम छोड़ के उधर से आ गया. देखा ना मेरा जगह. देख तू मेरा भाई है, तेरे लिए आ गया मैं. किती हाय कुठे तू? अरे गप्पा गप टॅक्सी एवढं ट्रॅफिक जाम एवढा आहे ना. लय बाबा वैतागलो मी. पास बघ घेणे 1000 रुपये मारले. आता काय वाचले?
कितना बे बंद किया सब बंद किया.
सब कुछ है अपने पास.
हाँ
तुझ्याकडे जर आहे का नाही? काय माझ्याकडे काही नाही ना. तुझ्याकडे
भाई
असं
है
काहीतरी
ना.
करावं.
ओ
तुझ्याकडे बघ बाजा सापी छिलम आणले. अरे एक नंबर भाई. छिलम सापी आणले माल नाही.
dude, cut the thing, no?
People are surely wondering about that reaction in the end of that video that I'm posting, because that was one of my very good friends down there. He is from a very rich family. He has a house in Lower Parel and in New Mumbai, so he's not a broke person. I don't understand why he did what he did, because my father sent money sometimes, I found out, down to India to help me out, so I had some money at least. And I found out that he didn't give me shit. And that the person I tried to find in the slums called Raju, my very, very good friend, he was like a brother to me, who helped me with my clothes, with my food and everything, and his family. He kept his number from me all this time. I gave him even money to look for him, to find his number and stuff, but he had the connection all the time. He had the dots covered, but he was keeping it from me. He was trying to milk me for money while I was in India, and I couldn't take it anymore, because he was a good friend, I thought. He really me over.
In the final part of Lasse's documentary, he takes us to his friend's house where they reminisced about memories of sleeping on roofs with pigeons, explained why he hit his friend Varun, which we saw in the previous clip, and how he also shared how his parents don't want a relationship with their own grandson.
Never came to visit my own son. My son is nearly 9 years old now. The 3-4 times I made my son meet my parents, that was because we went there and outside the house only, and then we took them in the car somewhere outside to play, so they could meet my son. But that much not that they came to my house to get to know their own grandson. They're bad parents, no. Not only that, they left me here, they don't even want to get to know their own grandchild. They're sick, no, in the head. It's not right. Those parents of mine, they have done so much wrong in their life. And then on top of it, when I got helped by my father, finally when I was nearly 18 years old, then Varun took me to Delhi. Kal maine usko mara. I gave him one.
Why?
Why? Because I found out that my father has been sending him money.
Really?
But he never came with money for me.
Why? Your money, na? Why
Exactly.
did you send it?
No, he used it for so whatever, I don't know. But my father sent him money. He never came to us with money. What a friend is that?
So remarkably, all that time, Lasse's father was sending money to Varun to give to Lasse, but seemed to be pocketing the money the whole time. And Lasse's father was making up excuses to not come and get his son.
I had anger issues because all the things I went through, no? It's like you have no parents, you have no proper upbringing and stuff. You have no one to teach you things that you are supposed to learn when you are young. So all of those things came naturally, but it took its time. But at least I'm also a parent. I know what not to do having a child, what to give him, what he needs. He needs love, he needs the affection, he needs someone to help him around with the studying and whatnot. It's like you do whatever you can to make sure he has a better life, and that I'll always make sure he'll have. No matter where I go in life, he will be the first one I'll think about, because I'll make sure he'll not have the same life as me.
As Lasse's story became more and more viral across the internet, he obviously became a bit of a meme. With the World Cup going on at the moment, he got adopted by football Twitter and became the template for memes, with his lost between borders quote and various other mannerisms taken from the documentary. When Norway played, he also became a bit of a Norwegian icon within the meme sphere, with some people even making aura edits.
Surviving.
Now that Lasse has found some unconventional fame and traction underneath his story, on the 29th of June, Lasse posted a video to Twitter that thanked all of his fans for the love and support of his journey.
Hello everyone, I'm very glad to make this video for every one of you out there. I am so thankful for every one of you for supporting, for sharing, for liking, for following. It's been an amazing journey, and it's all thanks to every one of you. And I'm sorry I haven't got back to your messages, because I have have 24,000 messages to go through at the moment, and it's not easy to send to every one of you. So I'm making this video to say how thankful I am, and it means the world to me. I'm like overjoyed with all the people out there sending me all the love and support. I have no words for it because it's crazy.
A day after this video, Lars seemed to embrace his meme status as he was seen dealing blackjack for a gambling company, which is kind of a new thing where Duel will pay members and viral characters like Bonnie Blue and SpongeBob to interact with a livestream chat and deal blackjack, which in reality are all just undisclosed advertisements for gambling. So it was only natural that the man from Norway via Mumbai made his money like the hustler he is.
I don't know who this fake Indian guy is. बेंचोद इतना मारूंगा ना जब मालूम पड़ेगा ये fake वाला Indian कौन है. Yeah. Should I talk Hindi with you? That will show you ना proper. गांड में हड्डी का लन डालेगा ना जब मालूम पड़ेगा ये Indian है का कौन है. मादर चोद का पिल्ला. बेंचोद.
Lasse Lund's story is far from over, and it looks like the internet might just give him the ultimate redemption arc he deserves. Currently, Lars and his brother, who has stepped up to act as his manager, are actively trying to sell the rights to his insane life story to major streaming services. Because, as it turns out, Lars hasn't even told us the whole story yet, as he is apparently holding back some of the most shocking details to ensure his experiences get the full, high-production documentary treatment they deserve. He wants to hold the institutions that failed him accountable and potentially take the authorities to court.
You know what? I'll get my story out there. When the Finnish government has done so much wrong, the Norwegian doesn't want to help the way they're supposed to do. You know what? I'll take them to court. Let my story come first out. Maybe I'll get some kind of help. Some lawyers maybe will take a pro bono case against the government and my parents for what they did against me. I don't have the money for it, no. But at least I can put it out there. Maybe someone will take my case.
From an abandoned 11-year-old child navigating the harsh realities of the Mumbai streets to becoming the most beloved and surreal internet icons of 2026, Lasse Lund has proven that he's the ultimate survivor. Whether he ends up with his multi-million-dollar Netflix deal or gets his day in court, one thing is for sure, the world is finally listening to the Indian-Norwegian man smoking on the roads. Well, if you've made it this far, I really do appreciate you watching. If you're new here, make sure to drop a like and a sub to the channel, follow me over on Instagram @FatMemer, and comment below what you want to see next. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.